Can you introduce yourself, please, and just what your role is in the gaming industry?
Sure. So, yeah, my name's Anthony Bray. I have worked in the gaming industry since 1993.
Do you think you could share like a standout kind of funny memory of your personal history with like gaming?
I remember when we did, so we launched this game called Parappa the Rapper. I was the European producer for Parappa the Rapper. It was launched in 1995 on the PlayStation 1. So I remember I went to Japan to meet the team in Japan who were making the game, and the musician and everybody. And it was actually also the launch party. And I remember it, I think it was either the 1st or 2nd of January, that game, that we had the launch party. And a blizzard had come down on Tokyo that time I was there. And literally the city was just, people had chains on their wheels, and it was so bad, this storm. And this is when the Parappa the Rapper launch party was. I remember standing there in this arena, watching all these characters on the stage, like singing, and all this crowd completely erupting, going completely crazy, to these characters standing on the stage in the middle of a blizzard that they had come from everywhere to be at. It was just absolutely insane. It was crazy.
Have you managed to like see any of it or be part of any of the esports events?
I've not been part of them. I was only at one in Malta about 2 years ago. I can't remember what it was called. It was a big one there at the time. I think the esports sector was something that I never really got involved with, just because my career never really took me there. It was not something. I was a dev person. That's more of a marketing thing. The kind of shows, the kind of public events that I would go to in gaming were more trade shows that I had to be at.
Who do you think inspired you in your path, like to take on this role, or do you think you inspired yourself? Really? Who do you look up to, kind of thing, if there is anyone?
I was never really inspired by any people as such. And if anything, it wasn't people, it was games, the actual games themselves.
Motivated you?
Sorry, yeah, I think that's what really sort of inspired me. It was the whole, the wonder of that these games would produce in your mind. I mean, like if you look at something like Ready Player One, and the game Adventure, which appears in that game, has got quite a sort of big role in that game. I remember playing that, and I'd probably say that I was more immersed in that world than I was a lot of the games that looked much better than that. It was just magical at the time, and that's probably what inspired me more than a person, more than people. It was actually the games and the worlds themselves, and the ability to. I've always been massively into storytelling. I love storytelling. I love the creative side of games. Even though I'm doing programming at the moment, I love both sides, and that's very important for me. People who influenced me were more than game designers. I would say game artists. Actually, not even game artists, comic artists. Simon Bisley, Frank Miller, Rodney Matthews, Boris Vallejo. These are all artists that were fantasy artists. H.R. Geiger, the guy who did Aliens, and so I was always a massive fan of all this type of artwork. A lot of it, White Dwarf, which was, even though that's a role play, but the artwork that you would see in the magazines that they would produce, and Warhammer. So I was always massively influenced by that side of gaming, I would say.